Good afternoon, good Erev Shabbos. This is Gabriel Jackson, and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day number 21, part 3, the obligation to recount the exodus from Egypt. And now we're up to the laws of the mitzvah. The laws of this mitzvah include, for example, the arrangement, the seder of the various mitzvahs surrounding the festive meal, which all of Israel is obligated to perform on the night, as well as the 4 cups of wine that we're obligated to drink during the meal, and their proper measurement and their proper dilution, as well as the arrangement of the points at which they must be drunk. The Seder, I will now write to you, says the author, my son, a brief description of the Seder and its laws, exactly as I've heard them from the sages of the generation. So he first starts with the washing of the hands. First, water is brought to the participants, and they wash one hand for the cup of Kiddush wine that they have to take in their hand. So it is stated in Blessings, in Brachos, chapter Ketzad, that unlike washing for bread, when one is washing in order to take a cup in hand, it is sufficient to wash only the one hand that will hold the cup. We do not recite a blessing over this washing, right? That's the blessing before karpas. And if one wishes to wash both hands for taking the cup, he may wash both, but still without reciting a blessing. Then he talks about Kiddush, the first cup. After this, he recites the blessing over the wine, Brei Pri Hagafen. He recites the Kiddush and drinks the first cup. Although he recites the blessing prior to drinking wine, Brei Pri Hagafen, he does not recite the blessing that is usually recited after drinking wine, the blessing of Alagefen. Then, another washing the hands. After this, he washes both hands and he recites the blessing of Am Tfilas Yadayim. So I think this is not exactly our custom. See, he says that the Chinuch follows the opinion of the Rashba. We make Kiddush first, Kadesh, Orchatz, then we wash the hands without a blessing, like he already mentioned. Fine. So that first washing was a unique custom. No blessing on that second washing, the washing right after Kiddush. Dipping the vegetable. There's another washing we do later, before we eat the meal. That you do make a blessing. Dipping the vegetable, the karpas. He then dips the vegetable, referred to as karpas, into a dip and eats it. One must recite the Brei Pri Adama, the blessing upon the vegetable before eating it. He creates fruit of the ground. However, even if he ate a kazayas, which he's not supposed to, an olive size, he does not recite the Brei Nefashos blessing immediately after eating it, which is the after blessing, because he should wait until after he will eat the maror, which is also a vegetable. And he should then recite the Brei Nefashos blessing over both the maror and the karpas vegetable. Again, something that we do not do. What we do is when we make that blessing over that karpas, the vegetable, we have in mind the bitter herbs that you're also going to eat later with that same blessing. Although much occurs between the eating of the karpas and the eating of the maror, the bitter herbs, the Brei Nefashos after the maror still exempts the karpas. Again, this is the Chinuch's own reasoning, which we do not follow. For nothing that he will do between the two is considered an interruption with regard to the laws of these blessings, as we shall explain below in our discussion regarding the maror. Let's do one more before we do the matzah. Haggadah, halo, in the second cup. After the assembled have eaten of the karpas vegetable that has been dipped into charoses, we pour the second cup of the 4 cups and we read the Haggadah, including the first 2 chapters of the halo. We then wash one hand and recite the blessing, "Blessed are you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who redeemed us," over the second cup, and we drink it. We do not recite the Brei Pri Hagafen blessing upon the second cup, nor do we recite the Alagefen blessing after drinking it. Also, again, there are a lot of things he's saying that is not our custom. One of them is when we dip that vegetable, that first vegetable, we do not dip it in charoses. Again, that karpas, we just dip in salt water. We do dip the maror in a little bit of charoses. Also, we always say Brei Pri Hagafen before we drink the wine of all 4 cups. So that seems to be his own opinion here. So we should know that sometimes there's different opinions, different customs. In this case, we are not following what the Chinuch says regarding certain parts of the Seder. Okay, that was your mitzvah. Thanks for listening. To sponsor future mitzvah 36-100 for the gold. Have a good Shabbos, and we'll see you tomorrow night.